What you doing, beloved?
Attention, attention, my black brothers. What I want y'all to do right now is take out the do-rag, the silky, tie it down. I want to see the waves glistening. If you got nappy hair, pick it. Don't let nobody discourage you.
Ariel.
Black boy, black boy.
All right, sister. Do you think that you should follow your partner on social media? Do you think that that's a thing? Should you follow them?
I don't know about should. I don't know that I should or should not, but I do know that there's a waiting period. If I start dating you, I'm not going to follow you on anything, like at all. And honestly, there are usually several months. The guy that I dated last year, I never followed him on social media. I still do not follow him on social media.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I never did.
And why is that?
Because I don't care about who you are on social media. That's not who I'm getting to know. So number one, I just feel like when people get access to my Instagram, before they actually like meet me, they start developing opinions about who I am based on what I show. And these are stills, these are photos based on who I am on Instagram. And it's like, yeah, I'm a hot bitch. Like, I'm cute. Yeah, I got a fat ass. Like, okay. But what you don't know is that like I'm a relatively brilliant person. Like I have things to say. I'm a thoughtful person, a curious person. I also am full of all this tenderness and love and joy. And I'm an affirming partner, and you're not going to get any of that from Instagram because I don't feel the need to prove that to social media. I want people who are close to me to feel those things, right? So I would just prefer not to allow someone to develop an ideal about me that they then hold me to or find out is not true about who I am because I'm a real person.
I'm a real boy. That's what you said. I have a thing where I want my partner to follow me on social media. Is that weird?
No.
That I have no problem with them. I want to follow them. And the thing about me is like, I want them to follow me and I want to follow them. I'm not trying to be a nosy girl, which I'm going to ultimately stalk your page. Like, girl, clearly I'm going to stalk it. But like, I just want to have access to you. I just want to know what you're doing. Even though, I can find that out if I don't follow you. But.
Oh, no, girl.
I guess, I'm like, I don't know. I also haven't been in a relationship in a while. So, like, I don't know, like, what that looks like. Because I think for me, like, take that back. Because if I follow you, then bitch, I'm stalking you. I'm watching everything you do.
Yeah.
I'm not going to respond to the people that's liking your pictures, but I will be looking at who's liking it.
See, I'm not doing that, period. I'm not doing it at all. But, like, I've been the type of, like, the last guy that I was seeing, not necessarily dating, but last person and all that. Like, I would be checking my story to see if he was watching that shit. Like, that is so lame. And I'm just not trying to be that type of bitch. Like, I'm just not. Like, I have enough problems with these niggas through text message. If you think I'm going to add another fucking, like, channel or method for you to, like, have me pressed, I promise you I'm not. I don't.
Okay, but do you, in a relationship, do you think that it is okay to still have your ex's like numbers or saved in your phone?
Oh yeah, I don't care about that. Why not? Especially if
you would have
ended
them
amicably.
So with their name, like, would you have their name saved? Like,
yeah. What am I gonna hide for?
Bitch, I'm not putting the number. I'm deleting the name.
If I am no longer dating Andre, and I am now seeing Steven, and me and Andre are over with, but it ain't no like bad, terrible blood. Andre's phone number and name is staying in my phone. The last nigga that I saw that I was actually dating, who I don't really like, I'm not interested in having a relationship with today, I haven't deleted his phone number from my phone. I saw him on the streets the other day when I was walking to my friend's car. And I was by myself and it was dark and I parked somewhere that I didn't feel completely safe. And I had half a mind to text him and be like, hey, can you walk me to this car real quick? For no other reason than because I knew he wasn't gonna let anything happen to me, which is what I needed to feel. And it won't be nothing more than that. Couldn't do that if I didn't have his phone number. I didn't do it because I was like, all right, girl, truck along. But I could have.
Hi, mama.
And if I happened to be dating someone and they knew that I had his phone number, I would be irritated as fuck that bothered them. Like, I'm with you.
I think that definitely that comes with the insecurities, or like the insecurities that creep into dating and relationships. Like I say, relationships all the time, and relationships. I think that always trickles into it, is like this conversation of territory, and like if it starts to become territorial, I think that's like a red flag. Definitely a red flag. But that's just curious. I think for me, yeah, if I was dating someone, I would have to remove their names. At least. Because yeah.
Why? What do you think it's gonna do? Like, what is the actual motivation behind doing that?
It just to me shows that to my partner, like, this person is not in my life. So like I want you to know, like, they're like, it's just us, right? Now I don't know if I'll delete the number, because girl, that's a whew.
What if it was an ex-husband?
I don't know, because that's different. Because
why?
Because with your ex-husband, there's things that you probably have to like communicate with about like kids.
Let's say it is an ex-husband and you didn't have any children together. Let's say, it doesn't even have to be a husband, right? Let's just say this is someone you were in a long-term relationship with. And naturally, relationship management, you're probably not just going to stop talking to this person.
The person his name might be just Howard in my phone. Howard. That's all they'll get. I mean, yeah, because you know how in my phone, for people who don't know, in my phone I put like emojis next to everybody's name, and I very much like put everybody's name in lowercase and spaced out. Like, bitch, if you don't get that in my phone, you're not elite. You're not loyal.
You absolutely.
So I can't say, hey Siri, call this person, because girls, I gotta be like, hey Siri, call Blueheart _R_R_A_. But I think for me, it would just say like Howard. It wouldn't say like anything, because it would, to the person that I'm dating, of course they would know my pattern. They would think it was somebody that was like work, or like very much not anybody that's like any special being in my life. So that would it be for me. But I don't know. I think right now, I would just remove the name, because if my partner sees that this person texts me or something, they just might be like, why are they texting you? And I'm like, bitch, I don't know. I don't know why they texted me either. So I think that's just me. But we're going to dive a little bit more into that. But what is up, everybody? It is your boy, lordevery.
And I'm derwinking.
And welcome back to another episode of That Black Boy Joy, where we create a space where boys can be themselves and
so much more.
Girly, how have you been?
Hi.
What's going on?
I've had a very interesting, actually low-key week, because I had Monday off for Juneteenth. Shout out to my new job.
Congrats!
Oh yeah, thanks. I've been there for like a month now, so it'll be 2 months in like a week or two. But yeah, it's been great. Like I have been doing a lot of work. I'm working a lot because I did keep my job at the restaurant. So your girl is gainfully employed. I have also been helping my friend over at Mirror Image 360. So I'm helping him with his photo booth. If you guys don't know, check him out on Instagram. I love me some Orlando honey. But yeah, so I've just been doing lots of work, and having money, or at least more money than I did last year, feels good. So kudos to me for that.
Come on, money. We love money. We love an increase or an abundance of it. And that's fine. I think for me, what I've been up to, I think I've been just really chilling. I've been in the house. Our girl's been poor, so she's been like staying in the house, very much trying to make sure her money is together.
I know that's right.
Right. I was actually supposed to go to New York for New York Pride with Charles, and I realized like, let's just hold off on that. And of course, Charles is okay with that and things like that. We talked about it, but I think I've been in the house. See, people is blowing me up. But no, yeah, I think been in the house, working out. Of course, your girl's always in the gym. And what else? I don't know.
Shout out to you making an adult decision. Like, I hate having to make sacrifices, but every time I make one, I'm like, you are so good to yourself, girl.
Charles had to literally be like, don't do it. Like, Charles was like, don't do it, Devery. And I was like, I'm going to come. He's like, Devery, girl, I'm like, no, I want to come. And because I don't like to like not, when I say I'm going somewhere, I don't like to like not go. So yeah, it was just like we had an adult conversation and heart to heart and just was transparent. So shout out to my girl Charles for being like,
We love a good friend.
let's get into that and shit like that. And then, yeah, I think that's it for that. But today we're going to talk a lot about communication and relationships and some dating trends that's been going around. So we're going to get into that later. But before we do that, we're going to go into our lovely spotlight, Black Boy Joy spotlight for the week. Derwin, get into it, y'all.
Yeah. So today's spotlight goes out to Kabi Lame, famous TikTok influencer from Dakar, Senegal. He was laid off from his factory machine operation job in 2020, of course, because of the pandemic. At which point he began filming and posting what would soon become viral TikToks. He rose to popularity with his stitches and duets, as well as a series of life hack videos, which I actually have seen. And as of yesterday, June 22nd, 2022, he is now the most followed person on TikTok, surpassing one Charlie D'Amelio.
Oh, the girl.
What is it?
I said the girl, Charlie.
Yeah,
Get that bitch off.
I don't go on TikTok like that. But at 442.9 million followers. I don't know if it's 0.1 or 0.9, but either way, 142 million people is a lot. So shout out to him for that, because obviously, and I don't think they're paying him like they need to be.
They need to.
But I just think it is amazing when people are able to turn lemons into lemonade, when they're able to turn their misfortune into the exact opposite. He's only 22 years old, and he's from Dakar, Senegal, which is a beautiful city.
Yes.
It's the western. I did a little research before I went there in 2014. It is the westernmost point of Africa. So there's that.
Okay. I was about to say Miss Frizzle, but that's science. I was going to call you Miss Frizzle, but no. Shout out to you. You come on, girl. You're an international girl. But I'm glad that a black guy surpassed that white little girl.
D'Amelio sounds really Italian. Glad. Oh, what I thought was interesting is that he had slowly climbed his way. I don't even know if I can say slowly. It was like in stages. So first he became the most followed Italian TikToker. That was in April of 2021. And then just 3 months later, he became the second most followed TikToker in general. He had surpassed Addison Rae. And then just a little after that, here we are. So shout out to him.
Shout out to him. I'm like, take him out the game. Take those little white girls out the game and stealing our black.
Okay.
Stealing our, what is it, TikTok? Those TikToks videos. I don't know what that was. I don't know if that was, but shout out to them. Yeah. I'm really excited. I get on TikTok a lot. Girl, I've been trying to get into my influencer bag recently. I've been posting my yoga videos and my rants and things like that. But it's just a lot of work.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Did you also see that the corporate baddie, I think his name is like DeAndre Brown, he quit his job. Like, and he makes like those videos about like being a corporate baddie and being like a Gen Z or like elite. Have you heard? You probably don't, girl.
No.
I love a good hood jam. No.
You know me. I just be living my little life, honey. And when I get on it, the social medias, I get on it, and then I be leaving.
Yeah, so he just quit his job, and all of his content was about like, he basically was like this Gen Zer who was like in the corporate space, and just talking about like corporate life and just like posting just about like being like basically not being overworked and shit like that, like knowing your boundaries. And essentially his job was like, it's looking bad on our end and whoop-de-whoop. And I think they tried to make him, don't quote me y'all, but tried to make him stop making his videos. He ultimately just quit.
Good for him.
And I just was like, work. So he's still making those type of videos, of course, but like it shows you like, and he just started to get into like TikToking, and he found his niche, and now he has like over 100,000 followers on Instagram.
Nice.
So he is climbing up, and he's also been like hosting I think he just hosted TikTok's Pride like event. and such. And he's also been doing some things with Kayla Allen. So, you know, the girls.
It seems to me that these jobs should learn from an experience. If someone is rising in popularity because they're exposing your company for overworking its employees, then perhaps the solution is to stop overworking your employees. However, I know that people are always going to put profit before people. So,
Yeah.
it's such a corny thing to say, but it is true.
It is. Yeah, but shout out to them. Shout out to our Black Boy Joy Spotlight. And we're going to get into our rants. So I didn't put this one on here, but I forgot to mention it. So Something in the Water just happened in DC. And there was a lot of controversy and pushback basically about the ticket pricing, and also just like the location of it and just like the convenience of it. So just to give you all a little bit of space, Something in the Water actually used to be in Virginia Beach, where Pharrell is, you know, that type of space. However, they moved it to DC for, I want to say, Muriel Bowser's liking, so she could, you know, rerun, and she did just win the re-election. And they were selling the tickets for probably around like $500 in DC, to the residents as such, which is kind of a controversy in the space, just because you live in DC and you're paying $500 for a ticket that's down the street. It's really not affordable. It was also during Juneteenth, so weekend. So that was also a very interesting thing, that this predominantly Black type of festival, or Black people come, of course, were charging during Juneteenth approximately like $500 for a show, a festival that ultimately just could have been like a little bit cheaper.
Could have.
I mean, should have been a lot more cheaper. And people were asking me, because I'm a festival type of guy, why didn't I go, or what was, you know, why I wasn't interested in going. Where the location was at, it was not festival type. It's not giving festival. It was given very much crammed on Independence Ave, on a narrow type of street. Do you know Independence Ave girl is, right? It was literally over there, like in some, like near some buildings and shit like that. Really wasn't giving a festival. It was giving, we're going to stand here and wait for people to perform and things like that. Second of all, I am from I live in the DMV. I am not traveling into the city. I'm not doing anything as such. So why would I pay $500, $300 to $500 to go down the street to a festival? That just doesn't make sense. Like, I went to the Roots picnic 2 weeks before, and the tickets were like probably like $230, and that was like a reasonable price, you know. But I just was confused on why they were charging that, B, in the space that they had it in, and just see, like, I think it was like a ploy from Muriel Bowser to be reelected.
Yeah, well, I mean, it certainly wouldn't have helped me if the ticket was $500. I wouldn't. Fuck that. Also, I don't know. It just appears to be a little bit ghetto. You know, hood.
Hood.
I heard that it was a disorganized event. I wasn't surprised. Yeah. Not because it was an event happening in DC.
Overcrowded.
I had actually forgotten that it was not the same thing as the Broccoli one. Was that Broccoli?
Yeah,
City?
Broccoli Festival is at RFK Fest. Yeah,
I totally forgot that those were different ones. Like, I had forgotten that Something in the Water was the thing that started in Virginia Beach. It probably should have stayed there. But I mean, honestly, I'm not too big on going to any festival in DC, simply because I just can't imagine it being a comfortable experience. DC is a cute city, but I don't want to be in any sort of mass crowd in DC. That just doesn't ever sound like an appealing experience. Like, I think about Afropunk and like that big ass fucking space, that park.
That park.
You know, what is it called again? I feel like I should really know this after several years of going.
We don't
Barry
have
Commodore?
We don't have a park.
Barry Commodore?
Something like that. We don't have a park like that. I know in Philly they have the pavilion.
Yeah.
They have that whole park. We don't have that here. So it's like,
I just it's a little embarrassing. It's a little embarrassing to me because, you know, it's, if you want people to enjoy your city, put them in a much better fucking like situation. Nobody wants to deal with that shit. whatever.
It was like literally in like this, like it was very much like this big. Like it was like they were crammed like sardines. Like festivals, you're able to walk around, you're able to like sit down, you're able to just do type of the other things. And with this one, what I was seeing, it was just like people were in one space, and it just to me, just like I'm not paying $500 to just be in a spot.
$500, I'm not doing that. No way. That's not like the price of a VIP ticket to Essence Festival. And I wouldn't do that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, sure, if you want, I'm sure somebody.
Would you do for Coachella?
No.
Yeah.
I paid $300 to see Beyonce at the fucking M&T, what is it? Whatever, M&T Bank Stadium. The Ravens Stadium or whatever. I paid like $340 in total for her tickets, and that was on the ground. Okay, I wasn't in the stands. I was on the field. I paid $300 something for that, and that wasn't a problem for me. But if you think that I'm going to pay $160 more to see any other bitch, you've got another thing coming. I will not. Who even performed at this fucking festival? Tell me, please. Let me know.
Okay, let's go. Okay, Pharrell, of course. Bia, Chloe.
I saw that bitch for free. I did in New Orleans. Okay, it's Chloe and Halle next.
Yeah.
It's not giving. It's not giving. It's not. You're out of your fucking mind to charge somebody $500 to go to a festival in DC. I had no idea that they were charging that much money. There's no way that all the tickets were that much. There's not.
And Broccoli Fest, it rained.
You're lying.
It absolutely was.
You're a liar.
Broccoli Fest, it was literally $500.
You're lying.
People, they were.
I'm looking it
also,
up.
so the interesting thing was they gave out. So there was a local high school that they gave out tickets to for free. And they asked the kids how did they get there, and like they said they got free tickets. You see, sister?
This is sick. Oh my god, they were at least 300. I'm telling you. Yeah. I'm telling. Okay.
Yeah.
Shuttle was 50 fucking. What?
But yeah, so there were kids that they got free tickets to go to the show, and they asked them, "Would you pay that much money?" And it was like, "Yo, no, we would have not. It was not worth $500." And I was like, "Yikes!" But I think about festivals like so when I went to the Roots picnic, horrible experience as well. Stages were behind. It was very hot. I think it was since the pandemic had the last time I did was pre-pandemic. There was just like a lot of things that like tech issues and things like that like were happening. But festivals, things are going to transpire. It is a festival. There's a lot of things that can happen.
Lots of moving parts.
Lots of moving parts. And I think that festivals have just not been tight as they should be. And it's making me less and less want to go to them. Just because like I just need just things to be together. Also, some of the lineups I just don't be caring for. Like I did when like at the Roots picnic, I wanted to see Masego, Duran, Tank and the Bangas, Jasmine. I slightly wanted to see Summer and antisocial stuff up there, but it gave me that juice of never wanting to see her again. But yeah, I got it.
Just as a reminder, and I'm not judging anyone because I don't stay in the house, but we are still in a pandemic. And
we are still in a pandemic.
I'm not saying that we should be afraid of monkeypox, but I am also not saying that it is impossible that the bitch could be spread at something like a mass, what do they used to call them? A super spreader event, like a fucking festival. Yeah. And
I thought you got monkeypox through sex.
It's too hot. I
thought you got it through sex.
I feel like that's not the only way. And if it is, honey, the gay community is done for.
Shout out to Pride in New York. Woo, be safe, y'all.
I'm sick.
I'm just playing.
Also, let me not push that narrative. Sorry, y'all.
We're not sorry y'all. We're not doing that. But let's move on. So, your girl, the grandson.
I feel like we're not allowed to sing people's songs on.
You could do it, not 15 seconds. Not 50 seconds. Beyonce has announced that she has a new album coming called Renaissance, and she just dropped the new single from it, Break My Soul, Tuesday night. All right? Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. No. Was it Tuesday night? Tuesday night, it was like at 10:34. But then like it officially dropped everywhere like 12. on Wednesday morning or to Wednesday in the middle of the night and whatever, such like that. And the music has gotten a lot of controversy and a lot of thoughts around it, which Beyonce, of course, is great for doing. And I wanted to get your opinion about this, sister, and your thoughts about the song and what is going on.
First, I want to say, spell Renaissance quick.
Bitch. R-E-N-A. S.
You skipped a letter.
Oh, fuck.
Renaissance. How were people spelling it on Twitter the other day? Or was it Renisance? I think that's it.
I'm spelling it recession. R-E-C-E.
I don't even know what I just spelled.
We are not spelling bee champs. We are simply podcasters. So
I know I spelled it right the first time, but I'm just saying I was trying to spell it like Twitter. It was funny to me that had started a conversation about people not knowing how to spell Renaissance. Nonetheless, the song is catchy. It isn't my favorite. And
is any of her singles ever?
I don't know. I don't know. Because I remembered that when I was little, I wasn't the hugest fan of Deja Vu, but it is probably like my top 5. Like, I really get, and the fact that fucking Dark Child produced that is just, So I don't know. I also just feel like I am really excited to hear the other songs. Did you get a B-Box? I got number 3.
Nope, I didn't get a B-Box.
That shocks me.
I've been poor.
That shocks me.
I've been poor.
I charged that bitch and I paid it off when I got paid yesterday.
Period.
I definitely charged that bitch. I was like, bloop.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted my B-Box. I don't typically run to get merch or anything, but I do want a CD. I still have my vinyl player somewhere around here, and I'm pretty certain that it has a DVD slot. CD slot. Oh, it don't. Oh, it don't. That's a lie.
Throwback.
But I still have a whole bunch of CDs, and I mean, you can play CDs on DVD players, so I was gonna find a way to make it happen. It was gonna happen for me regardless. But
no, I have it on my iPod.
I am excited. I'm really excited for Beyonce to come back. I know that people are saying that they don't want any more uplifting music, and that's fine. I mean, we are going through a lot. They probably don't really want to be reminded of the things that we have endured and are still currently enduring. I don't know. I'm so interested to see where she is musically now. The last music project we got from her outside of Homecoming was what? Everything
Lemonade.
Is Love?
No.
Oh, The Gift.
Everything. The Gift. It was The Gift. Yeah.
But
Homecoming,
the last thing we got from her was Lemonade.
It was Lemonade. Yeah.
And
that was a very...
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love The Gift. The Gift is good for my soul. I'm interested to see where she is and what she has to say nowadays. I'm hoping to get more than what Break My Soul is giving, but I do love this for her. I love that the radio is loving it. It is something to dance to, and again, it is very catchy, and I've been singing it in my free time, so I don't have anything bad to say about the song at all.
Yeah, I was literally 5 minutes after the song dropped, there was a Twitter space that had opened up, and people were very much talking about their first impressions of the song. And a lot of people in that space at that time were very underwhelmed with the single dropping and was feeling like Beyonce could have done more. Beyonce didn't really live up to this gap that she's been in, and just really much didn't push push the envelope or didn't push the bar. And a lot of people started to also get into this conversation of house music and what it was and where it came from. And for people that don't know, house music came from Black queer individuals. It originated in Chicago. It was something that we came about, bitch. We said, fuck it, let's do some shit. And how that began. And I know Beyonce says she wants this album to be a feel-good album. She wants this to be an album that we just get up and dance to. And I look forward to that. I am super excited. Everybody knows my favorite album is B-Day. I love Freakum Dress. I love Green Light. I love that era of Beyonce just because it was just very carefree and it didn't have to have a message that was very, very deep, like Lemonade, Love Drought and all that stuff like that, which is very fun. Put your Freakum Dress on or just have fun. Let's just be bad.
That is my favorite.
I love it. And I think that people have put a lot of this analytical type of experience into Beyonce, which Beyonce's always going to have people talking. Beyonce's always going to have people, trying to figure out what's next, and everybody's not going to enjoy what's happening with her. But I think that like you can't just base the whole album off this single. This single was something that was pushed probably by her team, her probably most likely because she's a Virgo. But I think it was just giving people a taste of what was happening. Shout out to Big Freedia for being on there, as well as still having that relationship with Beyonce. But I just think that people are expecting this very much type of like lemonade type of space. And I think that Beyonce is always, also somebody said that Beyonce is not unique, which kind of made me kind of like be like, excuse me, or
what does
her music
that
sounds
mean?
the same.
What does that mean?
I think the thing about
but these girls will say anything. Oh, come on. I'm not even entertaining that.
Right. I was like, first of all, but you have to have like a really good ear to understand the technicality that Beyonce puts forth in all her records, like most recently. Like even with the beginning of this song, Break My Soul, just like even just that beginning part of that run part, you hear the growth in Beyonce's voice as a mother and also as someone that is getting older in life and just maturing. You hear that. But I just think that people are just like looking at this past Beyonce and not really trying to give her any space to be creative and fun. She's
40.
3 kids. She's 40. Her resume speaks for itself. Beyonce can literally put out a fucking what's it called? Shark do remix and we'll live. Like,
she's been in the game for over 20 years.
And she has her resume. Her resume speaks for itself. Every album that she's put out to me has something different. Lemonade is not the same as self-titled. Self-titled is not the same as Four. Four is not the same as
I don't even think that needs to be explained. If people are saying stupid, nut-ass shit about Beyonce in 2022, it's because they want to argue, and I'm not going to give them that. I'm not entertaining that. That's really stupid.
And I think people are in the space of like, everything Beyonce drops isn't amazing, so everybody shouldn't be like, oh my God, I love this song. Everybody should be real and be honest. And I'm like, everybody is real. This is not everybody's favorite song. Like, there's not no deep message behind the song. I mean, leave your job and fuck the trade and release the trade and all that.
Release your trade. That was my favorite part.
Right. I love that too. Like, but as far as like those type of like moments that you get from Lemonade, that was a fucking conceptual album. Like, it was literally a story about her relationship and just going through that. Like she said that, this album, she already jumped. This is a feel-good album. Like, y'all gonna get with it or not. Like, so I just think people need to just realize, let the moment live.
Recall a couple months ago them confirming that there would be house and country influences on this album, and I was actually really excited. I love Beyonce doing country. I hated Daddy Lessons when I first heard it because I don't think that I was ready. No, I'm being honest, because I don't think I was ready. And then, after a couple listens, I was like, no, I actually really love this. And maybe I don't actually hate country music the way that I thought I did. Maybe I just don't want to hear country music from all white people. Like, maybe that's what it is. Maybe I felt alienated from it because it felt inherently racist. But, I know that people in the South actually have a connection to Southern traditions. And it just has always seemed like it wasn't a Black thing to me because all of the people who appreciated those things from where I was from, and I shouldn't say all, but most, were racist. So I just I associated those things with racism, but it is not true. There are a lot of Black cowboys, and I mean, we learned that in 2019 when Solange dropped "When I Get Home." Is that what it was called, or is it "As Soon as I Get Home"?
Bitch,
I should really remember. This is my favorite album by her too.
I was like, listen.
Give me a second because I can confirm that.
Tony,
I'm sorry, y'all. This is embarrassing.
Tony. That's all I remember.
It was When I Get Home. I was right the first time. Anyway, yeah. So I obviously Beyonce is one of the most unique artists of our lifetime. And obviously she's incredibly talented. I don't think that this single is supposed to be the end all be all of the album. I think that people are going to dance to it probably all summer and into the rest of the year. I'm excited to see what else she drops. I can't wait for my B-Box. I'm very, very excited. When we get the album, I'll let y'all know how I feel about it. But I mean, there's at least 2 songs on every album that I don't like. I don't know if I've ever said this, but I hate Halo. I hate that song with a passion.
I do too. I
don't like
Halo.
it. I hate School in Life.
Oh, okay. No, I don't skip that.
The girls always want to fight me for saying it, but I hate it. I hate it sonically.
I skipped to the left and Irreplaceable. I think also songs that I kept, like things that get radio burnt out, I have to skip immediately. Like, for example, Bang Bang. shout out to my girl Rihanna.
Yeah.
I cannot hear that song at all. I can sing it because of muscle memory, but like I hate that song.
But staying
So I definitely
Ariana.
agree with you.
I mean, it's
Oh,
okay to
absolutely.
not like every song by your favorite artist. I don't think that "Break My Soul" is a bad song. I don't
Yeah,
at
it's not.
all. I
I think
just
I think it was the repetition for me that I kind of was like, I could have like wanted more. Like for example, I feel like her and Kelly, because Kelly was one of the first girls in the group to give house.
Uh-huh.
Shout out to Commander.
Oh my
And
God, that got me. Now that made the
yes, I'll
fact
be
jump
your
out.
Commander.
They played that at my job at Aeropostale when I was in high school. Baby, I went and downloaded the whole
Yes.
album. Love it.
Kelly's good for that. I wish she would have stayed in that lane, but that process of trying to figure out your sound. But she also has that really good. She has that song with the Morphers she covered, "Finally," which I think was Donna Summer, right?
That's
I don't know
good.
who that was. Finally, everything happened to me.
Girl, that is not nobody's
I
Donna Summer.
don't know who that is. Who's that?
Pretty sure that's CC.
I just said Donna Summer because she looks like Donna Summer.
Pretty certain that's CC Peniston.
CC Wyan. CC Pedestin.
Oh, and actually, I know for a fact it is because I saw her perform at Karen Huger's event at the DC Improv.
COVID
when I
outbreak.
went with our friend Courtney. Actually, COVID did spread at that event because the two people that I went with ended up getting COVID.
Yeah, but they're good now. Yeah.
But I mean, CC was great. I got a picture with her. I'll show it to y'all one day. Me and Omar got a picture with her.
Yeah, I think that Kelly, I would love to hear Kelly and Beyonce giving us very much that type of vibe. I love. So I'm looking forward to the album, but I need the girls. Also, we also got Drake was giving us house music this summer, so I'm really excited that we're going to
give that album a listen. I listened to it the other day.
But I think it's for the fans.
Like 2 songs I liked. It's kind of boring, but there were like 2. It is. But there were 2 songs that I was like, oh, okay, this is a little about. I was shocked that Drake gave that to us. But one of the things I would like us to finally come to terms with is that Drake is a pop artist in the same way that Doja Cat is a pop artist.
From Toronto.
Doja Cat raps, and she's very good at it, but Doja Cat also sings, and she's pretty decent at it. I love listening to Doja Cat's music, and she's been the same she's been doing the same things in different ways this entire time. Drake as well.
Would you call Nicki a pop artist then?
Nicki can't sing. I don't like to hear her vocalize. I get really irritated when she sings on track. I'm not even being funny. Like, it actually hurts my ears when she sings on tracks.
Because I knew you was going to do that. I was just being a troll because I knew.
No, because she's obviously a very talented rapper. Like, clearly, okay? And no one can say otherwise.
Yeah.
When Drake vocalizes on a track, I don't mind it. And I never really have. It's a little nasally, but when Drake gets on a track and starts singing, I really be like, oh, please stop doing this now. Please. I beg. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Hello, Black men in the DMV. If you are between the ages of 15 to 54, you can help improve healthcare services for Black men. The Strength and Stressor study at George Washington University looks at how stress from things like discrimination, unemployment, police harassment, housing instability, and coping strategies impact Black men's mental and physical health. Become a part of this study, and you'll be compensated between $200 to $250 for your time. For more information, text 202-596-2743, email stremstudiesdc@gmail.com, or you can see if you're eligible by using the link in our bio/Linktree. But we're going to get into our meat and potatoes for today. In today's conversation, we're going to talk about, of course, dating, communicating, and some trends that have been having in the dating world right now. So I'm excited to get in this because I have a lot of personal experiences I want to talk about with you, sis, and with the listeners or audience about a few things. But before we jump into all of that, how do you communicate when you're dating? When you're getting to know someone, when you're in the space of, oh, I like this person, let's try to see where this goes. How do you communicate? Are you very like forward with your messages? Are you very much playing the water?
It depends on what I want, girl. Because if I just want to have sex, I'm probably going to be
Period.
very forward. The last guy that I was
Yeah.
dealing with, I was very forward with him. So I was making it very clear that all I wanted from him was a sexual relationship. If that involved
Period.
intimacy, then cool. But I was not looking to be in a relationship with him. When I'm actually interested in the guy, I'm slightly nervous. It happens every time. So I'm being really flirty, really coy. I'm that kind of girl. I am saying things that are layered, because I also want to know how, like, complex his mind is. So I like to like covert flirt sometimes. So I'll flirt, but then I'll also have a level of flirtation that like is really leveled, and only one person has called me out for it. It's fun, it's cute, and it like keeps you going, right? But at the same time, I'm not doing that shit every day. I'm not texting you every day. I'm an active person. I'm a busy person. There isn't a person in this world who can say that they hear back from me every single day throughout the day. There are often times when people that I love the most will send me a text message, and because I'm not on my phone, I either won't respond, or when I do respond, it's half the day or an entire day later. That's how I'm built.
Okay. And do you think that with that, would you label yourself a bad communicator then?
No, I communicate. Okay, I'll take it back. I am a complex person. So, and when I communicate with intention, I am precise. I'm a precise communicator. However, if I am communicating emotionally, I am not communicating well. I have been told that I have conversations with people assuming that I've had a conversation with them before. Like, I will have communicated with myself, and then by the time I'm talking to them, I'm talking as if I communicated those things to them. So Eli said to me, my friend and roommate, that he was like, it seems like you've often had a conversation with yourself, and you're assuming you've done that with me. So you're saying
like
things that are new to me, but you're saying
prepared.
it as if you've already said it.
It's like a casual. It's like the tone that you use, right? It's like the tone, and then also like how you're saying things. It's like they already knew this. Like for example, you could probably have a conversation without introducing like something, right? Like, I think I can get it because you just like are having a kind of like, girl, wait, I didn't know you went there, or oh wait, I didn't know y'all was dating. Like, so me and such broke up. You'll be like,
or even that when I'm talking with someone, like I'll even like step out of that conversation with them and kind of talk to myself because I'm still kind of processing through it. And that's often a thing, like, because I'm so introspective and I'm always interrogating my actions or thoughts or feelings. Sometimes even when I'm communicating those things, if I'm not completely sure, I'm going to actively show that. And I'm going to be really honest about that. But if I have completely processed something, if I am sure about how I feel about it, and it does take me a while because I do interrogate it, then I am communicating at my best. I am communicating clearly. I am communicating effectively. And I have the full capacity to be a great communicator. But because it does take me a while to process things, if you try to get me to communicate before I'm ready, it's just not going to be clean cut.
And then do you let individuals know in the beginning or early on your intentions, all for the majority of the time, and then B, how you communicate. So when I say how you communicate, telling them like, hey, I prefer to FaceTime, or I prefer to text, or I prefer to be, calling or in person, or I cannot respond to things every time you send it to me, but I will try my best to get to it as I can.
I don't know, because I feel like we've seen this conversation play out on Twitter a lot, and people are like, oh, that's a red flag when someone says they're a bad texter, but it absolutely is true about me. I think you've experienced me. You've experienced me over the last, I think you've experienced me.
I know.
You've experienced me. Yeah. I'm better in person.
Yes.
I just am better in person.
Yeah.
Because you have my attention. You're in front of me. When you are in front of me, I am going to be present. Yeah. If you are not in front of me, I'm not going to live through my phone. I'm not living through my phone for social media. I'm not living through my phone for none of that shit. I'll be on it to get my little laughs on Twitter, and then I'm going to go about my business. But if I spend all day in this phone, I promise you, I'm not going to be healthy. And I'm not willing to do that for anyone.
No, I agree with that. I'm the same way. So for me, the way I communicate, and it's kind of a thing that I've been trying to work on, is if I like you, but you're going to know I like you. I am going to make it my intentions to show you that I am available to you whenever, which is a problem because sometimes I do that too early. I try to, with my job, I am able to text more freely than most people. So I have no problem texting you in the morning, doing like check-ins and things like that. Let me know how you communicate so that I can adjust accordingly so that I am not over communicating. And that is something I really always try to tell people. Is like, please let me know how you communicate because I know how I communicate and I don't want to come off like I'm a pest or a bother. I hate texting because I cannot text worth shit. I don't know why I can't text. I told y'all this last episode.
You did.
There's going to be so many grammatical errors in the message. You're probably going to think that a child was writing it. It's because I type fast. My mindset works in a very fast pace. I know I can just stop and breathe, but I don't. And I also use voice to text. So I am the same way. I'm better in person because I am very dry in text messages because I hate typing so much.
Reasonable.
I don't think. I'm a bad. I barely have. You barely don't know what I'm saying half the time. So that, and I think for me, I think to me a bad communicator is a red flag though, because communication isn't just texting, right? Communication is letting the person know your intentions.
Yes.
How in your the initiative that you have in that space to get to know that person, and also just letting that person like be able to know what's happening because we can't read minds, right? And if you cannot provide somebody with a sense of clarity of what is happening in that space or what they can do, what is feasible or appropriate in that space, then I think that is going to not be a great person if you ever decided to become romantically involved because they are showing you signs that they will not be able to articulate a lot of things in a timely fashion or be able to take this type of communication to like variety of levels. So to me, it is a red flag because I'm like, if you can't simply let me know that you're busy and that you cannot respond, then like, how is this going to play out if we start to get into a relationship and communication is going to be required?
Yeah. And
now I'm not saying every relationship is going to go into communicating. Like you said, you're very straightforward. I want to do this with you, which is amazing because you're letting the person know from the beginning, I'm not going to be texting you all the time. We're not going to do that. What I want is this. And if you want that, you want that. If you don't, you don't. But I think sometimes we don't get into that space and it happens.
So with that in mind, you said things that brought up more than one thought for me. The first thought is that I am always honest. I'm not a liar. So I'm honest, and that has made me believe that I'm a good communicator because of that, because I'm going to tell the truth. But I think that you're right that people want like, oh, I'm busy right now. And I've had to learn to do that because of my niece, who I don't want to think I'm just ignoring. Like, I'll be like, hey, I'm at work. Like, she's one person that I've had to be very conscious about communicating that to. And because of that, I'm aware that I then have the capacity to do that with someone else, right? I think what tends to be overwhelming for me, number one, is that I actually really do have ADHD. Like, that is a real thing that I experience, which is why something being directly in my face is more likely to get my attention because it's right there, right? I'll be in the middle of sending a text message and something will happen in front of me, and now that message is sitting there. I'm thinking I sent it, I never did. That happens to me so often, right?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, there are so many notifications coming to my phone at any given time, whether it be from an app or it be messages. I hate to toot my own horn, but like, I'm a relatively popular person. And I'm challenged in such a way that when I don't want people reaching out to me, that tends to be the epitome of when they are. It is when I am free and have nothing to do somehow that nobody is hitting my line. Nobody. But when I need to be in a mode where no one's texting me, that happens to be the exact moment that everyone is FaceTiming, texting, and calling me. So because of that, you know, I find that like telecommunication is just it is a natural challenge for me. It really is.
Yeah.
And I do think that you're right, that can pose an issue in a relationship.
Yeah. And the thing about it is when I talk to people about communication, it is not just texting, right? I tell people my strength is not texting. I have no problem FaceTiming or being in person with my friends. I don't text you. Like, for example, we don't text all the time. We do not text all the time. That is just our relationship doesn't require that. I could call you. I'll be like, hey, Derwin, can we talk? Hey, girl. Okay. If you can't, I'm busy. Cool. Hey, Derwin, we still shooting? Yes. Okay. It's because we've learned that relationship. We've learned our spaces, and we know, for example, I work from home. I am able to text regularly throughout the day. I will not text you all day because I know you work in person when you was at the restaurant.
Oh, right.
You know,
right.
We communicated.
Perfect.
We knew that it was understanding. I think the dilemma comes into play is when there's no communication at all about what you do. And I think for me, that's when this conversation of dating trends comes into play. And this conversation of if somebody giving too much, if somebody giving too little, and how to really navigate that push and pull of platonic or not. When you're trying to get to know somebody, you have to create a space where you can get to know somebody. And getting to know somebody does require communication. So if you cannot always text, you can be like, hey, I cannot text all the time, but are you free this weekend? You know, taking that initiative to be like, hey, can I do this?
Yeah, you're right.
And the reason I'm bringing this all up,
You're right.
The reason I'm bringing this all up is because I am in a dating space right now. I'm getting back into the dating field, and I've been in a lot in my space. I've fallen into a lot of dating trends with others and myself, including myself. I've done some dating trends as well. And I'm really trying to get into this conversation of, does dating really exist in a healthy manner, or do you have to go through these type of trends that are happening? I'm going to go into the trends, of course, to give some people some clarity about that. And then also, at what level do you no longer participate in that, right? So my first question, too, before we get into that, do you feel like somebody that is not great at communicating or a bad communicator can change over time?
Yeah, I think because I've had to challenge myself, and my family has been really good about holding me accountable about these things, that like there are times when I have to be more conscious about it. And it really is a practice of mindfulness half the time. So absolutely, being better at slowing down to communicate makes you a more efficient person in general. Like you become much better at mindfulness, I think, and then you apply that in other places, perhaps at work. Oh, let me cover my bases. Let me tell you something. When it comes to my professionalism, when it comes to where I'm making my money, that is where I am most effectively communicative. I'm telling you, me at the restaurants.
Yeah.
So I know that I have the capacity. So I need to I need to apply those skills to my personal life. And I am changing. So yes, absolutely. I believe that a person can change in that. I just think that the incentive and the motivation has to be there. No one's going to change for someone they don't care about. I told you my niece was the reason I didn't.
And listen, and that is the thing that you have to realize in relationships, right? A red flag, right, is when you see that the person is not taking any initiative to alternate the way that they're communicating, or you just have to be with where they are at, that is a sign that that person is probably not going to be for you, because you're not going to be happy at all. Yeah. Because that person is not taking the initiative to alternate or, accommodate, which in relationships you do have to compromise at times.
Yes.
If you're interested in somebody, like they always say, you're going to take the time out to get to know somebody that you want to get to know.
Yeah.
It's not a conversation of this is how I communicate, you either like it or not. It's, let me take a step back. I like this person. I want this person to know that I like them back. Let's try to rework some things, and let's try to do that. And I think that in relationships and in dating, that is a thing that sometimes is missing, right? That initiative. It's dating has become a very, not a chess game. No, not a checkers game. It has become chess. It is a very strategic type of thing. It's okay, if you give too much, I can't give too much. If you give a little, I give a little. If I give too much, it's just this type of thing that is A, too stressful.
Yes.
B, it is very daunting and very unattractive and very gruesome. And I think that it is something that, like, a lot of people in our generation, I'm being honest, it is gruesome because you're mentally, emotionally, and mentally being abused in some form. And also it is something that also revolves around communication. And I think that some things that we just need to do better at is to understand that these things we need to work on if we are trying to be intentional with getting to know people in life. So to go into some of the dating trends, and I want to know if you've heard of any of these, right? So I'm gonna give you the description, and I want to know if you can assume what the name of it is. All right. Does that make sense?
Oh.
Just guess what the name is.
Wait, why would I know
give you
any
the
of
definition of
these?
something. Just assume it, girl. Like, what would you call this if somebody did this to you? Okay? So if I said somebody that does not text you back every day, but texts you randomly, what would you call that person? This is an example.
Breadcrumbing.
I just made that up. I don't even know if that makes sense.
Okay. Breadcrumbing.
That is actually one. We're going to get into that.
But that's not this one.
Breadcrumbing. I don't, girl, probably not. I don't know.
No, I'm asking you. Was that the answer you wanted?
No.
Oh.
It wasn't. But that was an example. But this is breadcrumbing. I'm going to give you this one, right? So breadcrumbing is when someone sends you a non-committal message without ever committing to something worthwhile. Okay? So an example of somebody breadcrumbing you is you are consistently leading you breadcrumbs or droppings of interest and occasional messages, phone calls, dating plans, or social media interactions, and then it happens to sporadically and usually don't have any follow through. So this person is giving you breadcrumbs, is feeding you little things that you want to hear, but is not being intentional with any type of committal relationship that is happening.
Sure.
So essentially they're leading you on into a space of like nowhere.
I knew what that looked like in my life.
How do you notice that? How do you know what that is?
I know. See, I'm not unfamiliar with the term of breadcrumbing. I just wasn't sure if it applied to what you were saying. I know what that has looked like for me. For me, it has looked like like a man giving me like a little ounce of intimacy, just enough to keep me there. And then like not communicating with me for a while, or like literally when I start to like, I'm like, all right, well, I'm just not going to say anything to him. Then he's like, oh, hey, because he's like, oh, he's not giving me the attention I need. So I'm familiar with what that looks like for me. I just wasn't sure if the example you gave. What's the answer to what you gave me?
Bitch, I don't know. I made it up.
Oh.
I don't even know what I said at this point.
Maybe that is what I feel like that is breadcrumbing.
So what did I say?
Because
do you remember what I said?
It is keeping someone in a relationship or whatever you have without effort. But when they stop paying attention to you, that's when you give a little bit, enough for them to stay along.
Yeah. And that's, so that's, basically that's what I said then essentially. So breadcrumbing is something that I've noticed a lot in the relationships that I've tried to formulate, most likely romantically. And I have not done this because I can be transparent. I've done some of the type of things. I have ghosted before. That is the ultimate thing that we all know about doing. However, breadcrumbing has happened to me recently in a lot of spaces, and I'm just always perplexed about why this happens, or why do people feel like it is okay to try to keep somebody on a leash, keep them in their type of vicinity, but not want to give any effort whatsoever. And I think that's something that has been really bothersome to me, is because I have been breadcrumbed to the core, and I created boundaries. The boundaries have clearly been broken because I keep allowing them to keep breadcrumbing me. I have tried to, communicate my boundaries and communicate these things, but I'm always just trying to figure out, why do you keep reaching out to me? And then when, for example, the thing that I've had recently happen is somebody would start a conversation. I would have the conversation. I would ask them a question, and they would disappear. So it's like you texted me, Derwin. Hey, do you have any plans this weekend? And I'd be like, no, I don't have any plans.
Oh.
or, or, I miss you. Do you miss me? And they'd be like, yes.
Okay, but see, both of those sound like half-baked attempts to make plans with you. Like, if someone asked me if I had plans this weekend and I said no, if they didn't respond, I might help them out and say, why would you like to make some? Maybe. Depending on if I like this person and felt like they were just struggling to follow through. Because at least I know the desire is there. Is that something I want to deal with long term? No. I would like a man who actually does things with intention and who says, "Oh, hey, let's do blah 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 blah." That would be nice. But I'm going to give that person the benefit of the doubt and say that perhaps they're looking to make plans with you or want you to make plans with them. It's not desirable. It would irritate the shit out of me, but it is very possible that that's what they're trying to do. I just want to throw that out there.
I get that. Okay, we're going to go to another one. Of course, we're going to talk about all these together. All right. When you don't plan dates, but continue to text, DM, or FaceTime someone to keep them on your roster.
Oh, that shit irritates the fuck out of me. I don't know what that is, but I'm so tired of niggas doing that. I can't tell you.
It's called benching. All right? Benching is when you always texting, always DMing, always text, all this type of FaceTiming, but never want to actually move into a physical type of space with a person. And that is, remember that conversation you'd be like, we don't live in our phones? Clearly this person did. Clearly this person does. Tyrone, get out the phone. Okay?
No,
Tyrone, get out the phone.
It's for me, it's disrespectful because why do you want to talk to me if you don't want to spend time with me? Like, why do you want to be in a conversation with me? If all you want to do is text and be on the phone, like, why are you wasting my time? I could do that with my coworkers. Like, we're coworkers. Right now, I am virtually working with you.
Or a pen pal.
And I tell niggas that, and I'm very clear about that. Because there was somebody, I was up on Jacked one day, and somebody was messaging me from like 600 miles away and was like, hey, like, I would love to like connect with you. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm not looking for a pen pal right now. I'm sorry. I'd not like to do that. And he was like, well, why not? And I was like, you forever away. Like, I'm not 16. When I was in bumfuck, let me not disrespect my hometown. I actually love the Eastern Shore. When I was home on the Eastern Shore in Maryland, it was cute for me to connect with guys that I could never meet in person because I was, number one, scared as fuck. I was in high school. I was not out and still struggling with my own relationship to my sexuality. So it was safe, and I got just enough of what I needed to do that with a man. I was 16, 17 years old. I am 27. It has been 11 years since that time. I'm not pen paling with nobody. Nobody. You understand? Nobody.
Yeah. No, I hate that shit. First of all, to me, it's like you're not taking the initiative to get to know me. Okay? I think that if you want to get to know somebody platonic or not, or intimate or platonic, you have to see them in person. You have to see who they are in face to face. You have to get their mannerism. You have to get those type of things. You can only do so much when you're texting, when you're DMing. But to me, it's a weird thing. It's like, am I a fantasy? Is this like, are we not in arm's reach? Like, is this like, what, is this prison? Like, is this like a collect call? Like, why? And I'm a person that, when you feel like these things are happening to you, do you ever ask the person like, okay, so I'm noticing that you're ghosting me. I noticed that you're benching me, or not even those words. I noticed that you tend to text me, but never have no follow through.
It depends. If you're ghosting me, I'm gonna let you ghost me because that's just what needs to happen there. I don't. If you are attempting to separate your life from me, I am not going to make it difficult for you to do so. I don't know why. I just don't feel like going through the headache. And also, if you can't end things with me, I'm just gonna do it for you. I don't know. That's just I'm sure a lot of people have made peace with ghosting in that way, and I don't feel the need to challenge that. However, someone was breadcrumbing me, and I did call them out for it. The last guy that I was entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the power dynamic has shifted. I have kept in communication with him because I'm trying to work on relationship management and just existing with the necessary boundaries if someone hasn't completely wronged me. So with that being said, I told him, like, this is what you're doing. You pick me up when you want to, and then you put me down. And I'm over here looking for communication from you, and you're not. And I had that conversation, and it empowered me. So I'm going to do those things when they empower me and when they end that cycle.
Yeah. I think that's helpful. I think that's very, it's transparent. It is naming what is happening or your emotions, because I think that's also helpful in relationships, is naming how things make you feel or what is being, like, what the intentions of what is happening going on, right? Somebody may not know that they're doing these things to you unless you bring it up. So, like, for example, you are very busy, right? But you were able to, like, but you probably can text and communicate. But if I don't know that how your schedule is, I would think of you as doing one of, like, these dating trends. Right?
No, I'm
that. But if I don't, if I don't know your schedule, I don't know that you can't talk on the phone every time, but you hit me up randomly out through the day, I might be like, he's breadcrumbing me, or he's ghosting. Like, it just is, you got to be able to communicate some things, because if I don't know your schedule, I'm not a telepath.
I let people know that I'm busy.
Yeah. And I think that's helpful, and that's communicating. All right. The next, we're going to do one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then we're going to just, like, bring them all up. When you ghost, but then come back from the dead with a message out of nowhere.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't even.
When you ghost, but then you come back.
Yeah, I mean, what do you call that?
From the dead. It is called zombie.
I knew. Oh my God! I should have just fucking said it. In my mind, I was like a zombie, but then I was like, no. I should have just fucking said it. I was almost on it. I was almost on it.
You're zombieing people.
Oh.
Has this ever happened to you, or have you zombied somebody?
I know for a fact that I was zombied somebody. I know that I did. I mean, it was in my younger years. It was probably like 2 years ago, but still.
Right, girl, 2 years.
Big difference from 25 to 27. Just saying.
Shout out to that.
Yes. There are always all sorts of reasons, but I think ultimately it comes down to, like, oh, I am lonely and I know this person was interested in me, so maybe I can get attention from them. It's really selfish, and I'm certainly not proud of the times that I've done it, and it has been done to me. And when it has been done to me, I roll my eyes and decide whether I'm going to communicate with that person. Sometimes I don't, and sometimes I'm vulnerable enough to do it. But even then, I'm like, I'm not about to, like, pay this man no mind. I'm just like, I'm probably as lonely as he is. And so maybe this burst of talking to him will be fulfilling.
Ooh, girl.
First time I've ever thought about that.
I mean, we're being honest, we're being comfortable. No, I've zombied, i.e., I've zombied. My situation.
Oh my God.
For the girls who know me, I am very much a night walker. I am very much a girl who likes to resurrect. I am a girl who likes to do all these things. And mine comes from a space of loneliness, feeling invisible, and feeling like I somewhat still have access. Yes, I can be a toxic nigga sometimes. Working on it. But yeah, I do it, and I've realized I need to stop doing it, and I need to let things go and stay where they're at in the fucking past. But that late night, moment comes through, and hey big head types of, that hey big head comes out, and then I'm next to the person like, fuck.
And then you're like, why did I do that? Because you were lonely.
After you, Right.
Because you
And
were
that's what
lonely.
happens. You know, a lot of these spaces where you're lonely. And it's very interesting because I've been zombied as actually I've never been zombied, I've zombied.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
I've never
you're a
been
zombie.
I'm a zombie.
Zombie. I'm just
Yes.
kidding.
But I've been ghosted, I have been benched, and I have been breadcrumbed. And of course there are more than those.
Yeah, I'm looking at
those.
them because they're really, really interesting. The
Okay,
slow
which one
fade
stood out?
is really interesting to me. Ending a relationship in a slow manner without letting the other party know that ending the relationship is what you're doing. I have done that because
I've done it too.
I'm a people pleaser. I'm going to stop doing it, and I think I've gotten better about it even recently.
Yeah.
But it seemed like the humane thing to do,
Yeah.
and I now realize that it's a lie. It is
hard.
informally lying to someone.
Yes, and it's hard to like break up. For me,
Ugh.
so there's a story. I'm sorry to this boy. I knew I was going to end it with him. I knew things were not going to work out. I knew so he had also had left things at my house like all the time. So the day that I knew he was not going to be there anymore, I had packed all his stuff and put it in his car. So he didn't know that everything was already in his car. Until I told him, we are no longer doing this. I think we should part ways. And he was like, well, let me come by and get my stuff. And I said, it's already in your car. So he was like, oh, you knew that you was going to do this. And I was like,
it leaves people in the dark. But I mean, yeah, of course I knew I was going to break up with you. I broke up with you. I didn't just decide in a fucking second.
But I think people feel like there needs to be a forewarning.
What kind of forewarning could there be?
Like, I guess people think that there needs to be a conversation because maybe they could have changed what they were doing. Maybe they could have worked. And my mindset is, if you are trying to,
I offer that.
do you feel like if that person does not like you, why do I need to change?
It depends, right? So, like, if I'm actually like with the guy, the last person I was serious with, I gave him opportunities to fix it because I was actually interested in continuing, and I wanted to know if he was able to correct the things that were clearly wrong. And I was clear about that. If I have to do this again, this is the consequence, right? I handled it the way I would have if I were as a leader, how I would manage employees. And that's fine. However, I don't want to have to do that. And also, if the problem is that there's no spark here, that's where it's hard. It's like, I'm not like attracted to, it's kind of hard to tell someone I'm not attracted to you, or I'm not really interested in like doing anything with you. I don't vibe with the kind of person you are. That sounds like a more personal thing to me than like being able to point to something someone did wrong and say, this is why. Because that's easy. Like, you did something.
Yeah.
If it's that we're not vibing, like I don't feel connected to you, I guess that's a much better way than like, I'm not attracted to the kind of person you are.
Yeah. And I think that is where typically people ghost, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what people typically ghost, is because I don't know how to tell you that the vibes is not vibing. So I would rather just die off, which is kind of toxic because what if the other person thought you were vibing? What if the other person was interested and then you disappear and did not, let them know what was happening? I do think I've had this happen before. Another story time, a girl loves a story time. Went out on a first date with a guy. We went to like a club, red flag to me. We went to a club and we ended up there drinking, things was in the air, and we started to make out. Afterwards, I realized I shouldn't have did that. Told them that I didn't want to, let's start over, let's be friends.
Let's start over.
And the person, let's start over. let's try to not have any vices in the air, and let's get to know each other. And when I got to know the person, I realized, I don't think that you would be my cup of tea moving forward.
So you didn't know that when you said to slow down?
I did know at that time, but I was like, let me get to know you when we were in a sober space.
Did you think,
let's not have any.
Did you think when you asked to slow down that your opinion was going to change?
No.
So you asked to slow down instead of saying, I don't think this is going to work. And even though you knew that ultimately you were going, that's what I'm trying to get to the bottom of.
Yeah, so I did that. And then the person started to gaslight me. And which is a problem that I have, is I then start to be, okay, well, let me try to get to know you.
What do you mean by that?
So when I told them I wasn't interested in them, let's start over. They were like, why do you want to start over? We didn't do anything. Why are you overthinking it? It's just you. It's not me. We can't. I don't know what we did for you to feel this way. You're all in your just like those type of acronyms. And I'm like,
all right, well that person.
I was like, oh my god, I was in this bitch. I was in a multiverse. Like,
something a little bit.
Bitch,
unwell.
did it even happen? Was it an illusion? And I was like, you know what? Let's try to hang out again. And when we tried to hang out again, I felt like this type of space was very forced.
I don't like that for you.
And very much was like, I didn't like it either. It was very uncomfortable.
He bullied you.
And when I broke it, when I bullied, yes, it was a bitch. That's another trend. You bully somebody into a second date. And then when I ultimately was like, it's still not working for me, then you start to be like, I wasted your time. I played with your head. I messed you up. You are the worst person in the world. And you know how I get when people start to tell me like I am a bad person. I take it personal. He said that to you? I will go into hibernation. Absolutely. And I kind of was like, damn, even when you do communicate, niggas will still be mad at you.
Which you have no control over. And I had to realize like that is something that we also people need to take away from this episode is some things that you have to do and it's going to hurt people, you know, but in order for you to have to move on in that communication, at least they knew how you felt. You're going to have to do it. You know, I always say we have to rip the Band-Aid off. I know it's very hard to like end things with people, but you have to let people know that things are just going to be where they're at and it is okay. Yeah. You know, like I remember one dude told me, you're missing out on a great guy. And I said, I'm sorry.
I have to be okay with that.
Yeah. Good. That's a good one.
If you're an amazing guy,
I'm sure.
Right, you're amazing. You're a human.
You'll be amazing for someone else,
right? And I think that was very interesting. But I've been learning that. And I think I've recently been working on not trying to accommodate niggas. And I think we also need to have a takeaway from that. Read the signs, read the flags. If a nigga is ghosting you, if a nigga is benching you, if a nigga is zombieing you, if a nigga is breadcrumbing you, if a nigga is just doing weird shit or just not communicating to the way that you want them to communicate, you do not have to entertain them. And somebody will communicate, as long as you're communicating too as well. Now, you can't be not communicating and want this person to communicate. Okay? You got to do that. And I did want to leave people with like some takeaways, some like, not takeaways, some like letting people know what it's, if you're in a relationship that is lacking communication, just to name a few, right? So, a communication flawed relationship may look like someone who views or likes your social media posts without responding while still ignoring actual messages you sent. So that shows that person may not be a great communicator and may not put you as a priority, all right? Another one is if somebody keeps looking to the future with vague statements like, let's pencil that in. Let's brain check. Let's see what that looks like closer to the date, right? Not setting any real concrete information, just really keeping you floating, like I said, in a multiverse, which is something that you just got to be like, noted. And then another one is, of course, showing interest in hooking up, but not spending non-physical time together. That's the one us girls fall for all the time. We love a good hookup, but then we realize this nigga never takes his off for a dinner.
That's all the girls. The girls and the world. That's all of them. We all fall for that. The girls and the girls.
We are in the bed with our temporary high, knowing this is the last time we're gonna see him until he wants another bust down.
Because that nigga kissed you on the forehead after he fucked you. Please, bro.
That is a bad communicator, but it's some good dick.
It's very easy to get dickmatized when it's good. Lord, and now we know. Now we smart. We'd be like, yeah, good dick. I know this is a problem because it'd be like, I'll let him ruin my life. Oh my God. What is it? Ari Lennox said this, didn't she? She said, I knew. Yes, like the people at home, I knew. I was willing to let him fuck up my life because the dick was good.
But let's just say this to y'all. If this is a communication that you are okay with, if this is a boundary or a space that you are perfectly fine being in, stay in it. I might want to suggest to consulting a therapist to know about why you want to stay in this space. But If you are in that person are in a mutual space where you all are just merely hooking up, you all are, spending a physical time together, and that is solely that, and you both are on the same wavelength, that is fine. All in all, what I want you all to just take away from the conversation is just to make sure you're communicating in any space so that there's no gray areas for people to think that they're being ghosted, all of that stuff like that. And I know communication can be hard, but it is beneficial on both parties in any space. Platonic, romantic, work, friends, life, all of that stuff. Create boundaries, communicate, and it is very effective and healthy, girly.
I'm getting hungry, child.
I know you are. That's why.
My little blood sugar about to go down, honey. It's time to get me something to
We
eat,
are wrapping
girls.
up. We are wrapping up, you all. All right. So, can you tell the girls where they can follow you at if they would like to continue the conversation with you?
Y'all know y'all can find me on Instagram at derwinking. That's DERWINKING. And on Twitter at Free Negro. That's FREENEGREAUX.
And you all can follow me, my lovelies, on Instagram and Twitter at _lordevery. That is _LORDEVERY. You all can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at ThatBlackBoyJoy. You all can write into us at thatblackboyjoypodcast@gmail.com. You can also watch our videos on Instagram at thatblackboyjoy. Please check us out. Continue the conversations with us. We also have videos of our podcast on Spotify as well.
Yes,
so if you all want to
honey.
check us out visually on Spotify, you can do that as well. But like we always tell our guests and listeners and viewers and all of that good shit, please be so in love with who you are.